Hello and welcome back to another video. Today we're going to be talking about a new concept in the works by Dell, Alienware UFO. Now, Alienware UFO is essentially a Switch, sort of like design, but with the taste of Windows. So if any of you were looking to play some Steam games like Rocket League and many other sort of popular games out there on the Steam market, well, Alienware UFO is going to be definitely up your alley. And by that, there's been so many, let's say, concepts of, this device. There's even been videos, which obviously I will link down below, of this showcase of this great, interesting idea of the concept of UFO. Now, Alienware has not released much information about this yet, so it's essentially what we're relying on the people that are able to try them out right now, and of course Alienware, because I would very be disappointed if let's just say they didn't know their own products. Anyways, so far we know about this device. It has an 8-inch display with 1900 by 1200 resolution. The Nintendo Switch itself right now has a 1280 by 720, so that's already a massive improvement. Bigger display, of course, but the resolution's really where you're going to see a lot of that clear and high definition. Not quite high definition, of course, but it's definitely, above almost 4K range. Now, according to the top of the leaked sort of slash concept photos, there's a USB Type-C port on the top, as well as a headphone jack, a power up and volume down buttons. Other than that, the joysticks, which keep in mind, I really like how the joysticks are kind of like how the Alienware keyboards are. They're like lit up sort of situation. It makes it really kind of cool. And obviously when, if you ever want to like play in the dark, or maybe, I don't know, you just want to have that like cool sort of vibe. I know when I have Alienwares and stuff, and when I was in school, actually, this is more of when Alienwares were becoming more of a, how do you want to say, more like starting to get like the word out. This is, I think, when Alienware was bought out by Dell, or at least beginning to. You would bring the laptop to school, and everybody would be like, "Oh my God, look at that Alienware! Oh my God, look at all the colors on the keyboard." A lot of the people didn't even know what the hell that was. They're like, "What the hell is that thing? Is that an alien?" When they saw the logo, and I'm like, "Oh my God."
God, who the hell cares?
Anyways. That's really kind of cool how they did the joystick with the LED sort of, I would assume, lights there. However, weight. It seems like it's a little under 2 pounds, which is quite heavier than the Nintendo Switch, since the Nintendo Switch is so light. But at the end of the day, you do have to figure this to go from an Alienware sort of laptop, which they made thinner Alienwares, but the thing is, to get a power enough card, especially for Windows 10 we're talking about here, because it looks like the device has Windows 10. Do we know what version? Not offhand. I would assume it's either like a dimmed down version of Windows 10, like an ARM sort of edition, or a more of just Windows 10 Home. But, it also looked like in some of the screenshot, or I guess pictures, more say, there was a sort of like it's almost like an app store, if I want to say. But I mean, I guess there's a lot of things that a lot of people have questions for yet. I mean, I feel like, a lot of the questions are, how great is this going to be? Like the battery life, for example, is, I think, a bigger question than even that. Is battery life, going to be good? Is it going to be bad? Because, I mean, most batteries, especially for gaming sort of situations, only last like 3 to 4 hours. I mean, because you have Windows 10 in the background and Steam games and everything. Like, Alienware, I think, if I would assume there is probably thinking about, okay, how can we make it where the battery is gonna last a decent amount of time, because you don't want to have a console that's supposed to be on the go and only last like an hour or two. I mean, there might be some people, of course, that prefer that, but at the end of the day, you have to figure, oh my God, if I can even talk. Is it really gonna be worth like a trip to the airport sort of situation where you can play on a game, or do you really want to last more than that and go on the airport, go on the plane, and travel almost the entire world with the thing? It's just, you want to have a console that can be on the go. Like Switch, I think, if I'm not mistaken, lasts about 8 to 10 some hours. I mean, it probably could be a little less, but the majority part of it is the Switch has its own custom sort of, it's not like Windows 10 where I can just like, oh, I'm going to play some Fortnite, even though it's not supported sort of situation, which I think Fortnite is on the Switch. I'm not 100% sure. Actually, I haven't played my Switch in a couple months, so I don't know what's changed since then. However, things like Steam, like a lot of Steam games and stuff, and hell, even Toontown, for example, for those that are, into that, since I make videos on that as well, you don't really see yourself playing that on the Switch. Now, of course, with the Alienware, the concept UFO, that could be a possibility. We could be bringing even World of Warcraft on these things. Now, how will they work? We'll have to determine that, because we really don't know the processor, the CPU, really anything, only the bare minimum of what we can see and from what these people that can showcase these can see. I would assume there's a device manager on there, so if somebody wants to, hook me up with some of those juicy specs, that'd be great. No, like, honestly, though, we have to really figure that this is a great concept. Now, keep in mind, this concept doesn't mean that it's going to hit the market. This could be a concept that could be very much scrapped. Now, do I feel like it could be a great market potential? Yes, under a few conditions, though. Number one, the battery. There has to be a way to improve the battery to where it could be actually mobile. Because the issue is even with some Android phones, when you do heavy gaming, they go down pretty quick. With the Switch, it's not as much as that case. Is it a lighter operating system that's Nintendo uses? Yes, but at the end of the day, you have to figure Windows 10 on a mobile console. Okay, I feel like there can be ways to do that. It's just Alienware has to sit down and think, what are those options of where we can do that? If they can at least squash out to have longer battery life instead of shorter, that could be another great benefit to the console, because you don't want to release this console if it only has like a 1 to 2 hour battery life. Price, nobody knows, but I could say right now that price is not going to be cheap, because there's two reasons. Alienware is very pricey. That's number one reason. Alienware has just always had that market of where a lot of their stuff is I don't want to know if I want to necessarily say overpriced, but it definitely is over most people's budgets, let's just say. Number two, I think in any market, for just how this device is, it looks, and it just I can't say it feels, just because I haven't felt that it feels bad, man. But now, of course, anything usually coming to the market, most likely usually is expensive. Not all, but it's just one of those things where a lot of these companies, I feel, especially Alienware, would mark up their device. So I wouldn't, hold your breath that it's going to be the same price of the Switch, especially because already the specs seem a lot better, even from just the limited amount of specs that we have. I would have to guess in the 600 to 700s, and maybe even 799. Let's just say right off the bat. Who knows if I'll ever be close to that? But I will say right now, it's definitely not going to be, I guess, do I want to say as cheap as a Switch? Because a Switch is not a bad price. You get a lot of good sort of potential in such a little console that's so only thing out there. There really isn't much out there that could compete with something like that. I mean, there was PS Vita, there was other sort of mobile sort of consoles, but Nintendo Switch was like the rat's ass to where everything is just changed with the joysticks, and then it's almost like a Wii U but more portable. And honestly, that something like that hasn't ever really happened in any other market. I mean, PS Vita, okay, yeah, that was great and all, but the Nintendo DS, that was great too. But with the Switch, at the end of the day, that was something that really just wowed and sold out pretty quick on the pre-orders, and just having them in store were so freaking hard to find. I was lucky to even find one. However, this is probably going to be the same situation. Maybe not as much. I feel like they're going to have limited quantities on these just because, they're going to be more pricey, I would imagine. And of course, it's not finalized. So if you really think it should be a thing, just let us know down below. Because the more people that give attention towards it, the more Alienware will say, okay, is this going to be something we could sell? Because these people, just like any other company, they're about making money. And if it's something of a good idea that enough people will buy, it'll be a thing. Don't worry. So let us know down below. And I feel like the UFO concept is a great concept. I feel like it has great potential. A little bit of concerns like the battery life and whatnot. But if they get around to tweak them, I think it's a hit and run. But for a concept, I will have to say it's pretty well done. At least from what the other videos that provide are out there, it's pretty a damn good freaking concept. I feel like this has great potential, but there is just a few things that I think all of us are worried about, and if they can, which I'm sure they can, with the amount of just technology that we have today, it can be done. So until then, we'll just find out what happens. And I thank you all for watching, and I hope to see you in the next video, everybody.